just wanted to do a little video quickly showing I've had to put some decor in that because as with always with Beani, when you start growing them out, once they get to a certain size, the aggression starts. And I lost the first one out of this batch, and it not from bloat or anything. It was from aggression, sibling aggression. So I've had to chuck some more bits in their tank. As crap as it looks, it's just bits of crap decor that come with used tanks that I bought. But yeah, just to break up their line of sight and that, give them some hiding places. But yeah, I've tried some different ways of growing these out. The only thing that I would suggest with things like Beani and Haitiensis and that is when you do pull the fry from the parents, what I've always found like works for me now is I'll literally fill the fry tank with the water from the parents tank, and I've never had a problem doing it like that, and just literally hoover the fry into it with a siphon. But otherwise, when you take them out, this is the first mistake I ever made with Beani, was changing them from one tank straight into another with a completely different water chemistry, and they didn't do well. They'd bloat and die, and that was with the first lot I ever had, which were the San Pedros. These are the Laguna El Camalotes, but they're just, I mean, it's the same fish, but just different catch location and more rare. But yeah, some of them are actually starting to colour up already, which is mad. I mean, they're still only about inch and a half. But yeah, you just got to be careful with what you give them as well. Another no-no, like I found out, was giving them like the baby Hikari pellets from early on, because when they eat them, obviously a pellet, when it gets swallowed and I mean, water gets to it, it swells up, like you see when you put Hikari in. If you don't fish them out, any that don't get eaten, if you don't fish them out straight away, you'll notice they swell up. So obviously when the fry are eating them, that's what they're doing inside them. So again, it's anything that can trigger bloat with these, and due to the fact that no one knows for certain exactly what causes it, I mean, everyone's got their opinions. From the most sort of, well, the way that most made sense to me when someone explained it was that, I mean, whether this is right or wrong, I don't know, but it seemed to make sense, was that basically there's like just things that are in the water anyway that their immune system can normally handle, but when they get stressed out, something that's normally easily rectifiable isn't for them. Like then, so they end up bloating and dying, because well, you can see that the temperature's not low at all for Beani, and again, I feed them live food, but I mean, I don't mean like as in like live fish. I mean I feed them like live shrimp, brine shrimp. What else do I give them? I don't give them bloodworm. That's one thing I know other people do, but I don't like giving them bloodworm. But like once they get a bit bigger, I feed them on river shrimp, earthworms, bits of prawn. Just make sure that you don't, you know what I mean, that you cut the pieces up small enough. You don't want to give them like, you know, like a whole earthworm for like a 3-inch fish. But yeah, they're not as bad as people make them out to be. Not at all. You know what I mean? If you apply common sense and just give them decent water, common sense is the main key to these days. Yeah, stark contrast to keeping like these. Sorry for the colour of the water, it's the tannins. I've got a new bit of bog wool up that end. You can't really see it because the other tank overlaps that tank, but yeah, these are the RTMs. Parachromis, literally you could like breed these in a bucket if the bucket, you know what I mean, it was big enough that they could do what they need to do, they would spawn in it. This is why I've gone off, I'm starting to go off things like the parachromis species. Not I'm going off, well, yeah, I suppose I'm not that I dislike them, but I just got no sort of desire to keep them anymore. It's the same with Amphilophus as well. It's they're all easy to breed. Most of them are readily available in the hobby. There's just no, I don't know. There's no. I suppose the longer you're in the hobby, your tastes change, don't they? So I don't know. I suppose I don't know. Like some people keep them for years, don't they? And just keep the same sort of things like Jags and Midas and that. But yeah, for me, I've gone more towards. I really, really want to do a Media Lunar tank, and the Beani I love. The Grimodis I really like, although they're not down as a hard to breed cichlid per se, just the fact of the aggression that they, you know what I mean, dish out on each other makes them challenging in itself. But yeah, it's a much, I don't know if you ever get a true bonded pair with Grimodis. I think there's always the potential for them to turn. But yeah, the Beani, to be fair, I didn't find them hard to breed whatsoever. I think once you've cracked keeping them, that's not really the hard part. The hard bit is stopping them breeding. But yeah, so I'm going to be, I've decided I'm going to get rid of the RTM pair and use that room to make way for some project involving the Grimodis. And I've always, to this day, still want to do Media Lunar. But yeah, that's it. Cheers, right.